Welcome to Module 5.2. Talking about the metric unit of measurement for area. So, again, we're going to do matrix, but this time we're going to talk about area. All right, so here, and also on the formula sheet, I wrote these area formula down for you. So, here on the top is referring to small area. Okay, for land area, okay, this thing called the A, 1A, that's called an Rs. Okay, 1R is equal to 100 square meter, and HA, let me make sure I can spell it. All right, 1Rs, okay, is equal to 100 square meter, 1 hectare, okay, 1 hectare is 100 Rs, which is 10,000 square meter. So we don't use Rs much, okay, as far as for land area, but this is 1 unit for land area that the matrix use. So it's kind of weird, okay. So before we begin doing some problems, let's take a look at the units. All right, so I got a lot of centimeters, millimeters, but they all have square on the top of it. So basically, what it means is, let me just write it as square meter. A 1 square meter, the word square is referring to you have a square that is measured 1 meter by 1 meter. So as you can recall, when we find the area of a square, we simply take the side times the side. So the area is 1 square meter. So the word square, okay, over the exponent 2 here, always representing area in geometry. In geometry, square means area. Okay. So if I have 1 cubic meter, okay, 1 cubic meter means you have a cube. Doesn't look like a cube, but it's okay. If you have it means you have a cube that is measured 1 meter by 1 meter by 1 meter. So the volume, okay, is 1 times 1, okay, which will give you cubic meter. So whenever you say the word cubic, or you see this exponent to the third power, when it comes to geometry, it means volume. Okay. So how do I know the problem I'm working on is talking about area instead of talking about conversion between metric to metric? Okay, you look at the units, okay, or the wording that will tell you whether we are dealing with conversion between length to length or conversion between area. Okay, so it's kind of confusing because we have so much formula on the formula sheet for all these conversions. So that's the reason why on the top I write down area, and everybody here all has square on it, because later on we will begin to talk about capacity, we'll talk about volume, okay, in the next section. So just be aware what we are working, um, what measurements that we are working on. Are we talking about conversion between capacity, length, weight, area, or are we converting volumes? Oh, I spelled it wrong here. ARES. I spelled it wrong here. When I spelled the R's earlier, it's ARES, and there's no C in there. All right, let's convert. I think the easiest way to convert area for matrix is using the unit fraction methods. Okay, because we don't really deal with much of these area So the easiest way is probably just use a unit fraction. So how many square decimeters are in 747 square millimeter? So what I'm going to do is take 747 square millimeter, write it as over 1 and times. Okay. Put my square millimeter down here. And let's find if we got any conversion from square milliliter to square decimeter. Millimeter, let's look for all millimeters up here. Let's see. dm squared right here. 1 square decimeter is equal to 10,000 square milliliter. So I can convert directly to square decimeter. And my ratio is 1 square decimeter is equal to 10,000. All right, square milliliter cancels out. So this problem is simply, 747 times 1 is 747 over 1 times 10,000 is still 10,000. The only units I got left with is square decimeter. So let's divide. By the way, by the power of 10, dividing by the power of 10, 10,000 is 4. Dividing by 10,000 is moving the decimal to the left 4 places, or we can put in a calculator. However, which way you like to do this. 10,000. So my answer, 0.0747. All right, square decimeter. Let's try another one, okay? This is Rs, this is hectares to Rs. So, again, 162 hectare is equal to so many Rs. So let me use the unit fraction methods. For units that I'm not familiar with, I like to use the unit fraction method so I don't have to think too much about who is bigger, who is smaller units. All right, hectares convert straight to Rs, which is up here, the land area. 1 hectare is for 100. The hectare cancels out, so this problem just now becomes 162 times 100, which is 16200 Rs. Okay. How many square centimeters are in 798.9 square milliliter? So this problem wants me to convert square milliliter to square centimeter. So let's look for these 2 units up here. Square centi to square milli. Square centi to square milli. So that's the first one up top. It's a 1 to 100. Let's make sure. Yep. So that will be 798.9 square millimeter over 1 times another fraction. Put my square milliliter down here. Put my centimeter up here. My ratio is 1 to 100. So this problem, the square milli cancels out. So 798.9 times 1 is 798.9. Divided by 1 times 100 is 100. My only units left is square centimeter. So once I divide, I got to move my decimal to the left 2 places because divided by 100. So that will be 7.989 square centimeter. All right, this one is hectare in square kilometer. Convert from hectare to square kilometer. So let's see what the ratio is. Hectare to square kilometer. You see, I don't have anything here. 232.1 hectare is equal to so many square kilometer. Okay. I do not see anything involving with hectare to square kilometer. What I can do is go from what I have is hectare to R's. R's can take me to square meters. Okay, so I can either take hectare to R's, hectare to square meters, but not square kilometers. So what do? Well, we look up here and trying to find anything about square kilometer. The only square kilometer that I see is right here. All right. So square kilometer can take me to, oh, right, this one right here. Square kilometer, no, that's not kilometer, that's an H. Square kilometer can take me to square hectometer, decameter, and square meter. Okay, so if you think about this, if I can go from hectare to square meters, and here I have a square meter right here, and in front of it is kilometer. So that tells me I can go from hectare to square meters and go from square meter that can convert to square kilometer. Okay, kind of strange. Hectares convert to square meter and we can go from square meters to square kilometer. So you kind of piece what you kind of pieces the pathway together in a way, because if you don't have a direct conversion, you got to see where you're starting and where that can take you, and once you get there, how you're gonna get to your desired destination, which is square kilometer. So let's write this out. 232.1 hectares. See, this is the reason why I don't like to use the shortcut for these units that I don't know, because I might have to go through somebody before I reach my destination. I'm going to put my hectare down here. I'm going to put my square meter up here. All right, so this is how we convert from hectare to square meter. But once I'm reaching square meter, then I will need to put a square meter down here so the top and bottom can cancel. And I see in a table, I can convert square meter to square kilometer. Okay, so I'm paving the way already. Now all I gotta do is writing my ratio. So the ratio between hectare to square meter, that will be 1 to 10,000. 1 hectare is for 10,000 square meters. The hectares will cancel out. So now I'm at square meter. So square meter convert to square kilometer. The ratio is 1 to 1,000,000. 1 square kilometer is 1,000,000 square meters. So now the square meters cancels out. Okay. So let's take a look. So this problem becomes 231.1 times 10,000 and then divided by 1,000,000. But to make it easier, I'm just gonna go ahead and cancel out all these zeros I can. So 10,000 has 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros, canceled out with 4 zeros down here, top and bottom. So that will be just 100. So basically this problem now just become 232.1 divided by 1 times 1 times 100. All right. And the only units I got left is square kilometer. So divided by 100 means move my decimal to the left 2 places. So that will give me 2.321. So if I want to do this purely in a calculator, I would take my 231.1 times the 10,000 and then divided by a million. 1 with 6 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Typing all together and I'm typing around 2.32.1. Sorry about that. Okay, but the decimal will end up between 2 and the 3. Okay, sorry, I'm typing a 1 instead of 2 there. All right, so this problem is a little bit tricky. You got to pave your way, know where you begin, and see where that can take you. And then once you get there, then we can look around and see how we can reach our destination. Okay. All right, so this last one, how many square decimeter are in 540.2 square meters? So this problem wants me to convert from square meter to square decimeter. So let's see if I have a direct path to get there. Square meter, square decimeters. Right here, square decimeter to square meter. So that's 1 to what? 1 to 100. D. I hope I'm not saying it wrong. D is deci, yeah. D is deci. DA is deca. Make sure. Sometimes I say it wrong. I'm going to check this real quick. 1. Oh, I just noticed something right here. This is not correct. Did I use it already? Deci is smaller than square meter, so this part is incorrect. I would fix that. Look, I type it out. When I type this out, I must not see that. See right here, this is 1 square meter is equal to 100. Okay, square decimeter. But this part is incorrect. I will go look. I must copy it down wrong from the homework, from the problems in house learning. So 540.2 over 1 square meters is equal to, times by, put my square meter down here, put my square decimeter up here, and the ratio is actually 1 square meter for 100. So the square meter will cancel out. So this problem, we will simply take 540.2 times 100. So times 100 means move my decimal to the right 2 places as well. So that should be 54020, right? 1 empty slot, put my 0 in. All right. So let me check real quick. Did I do one with a deci? I did one with a deci and milli. And that's correct. So in this video, we take a look at how we can use the unit fraction to convert metric measure of area. So how do you know to look at this particular table, okay, on the formula sheet? Whenever you are dealing with problem that keep on saying the word square, okay? Square first, that's area. Centimeter referring to metric. So that's how you know to come over here to look on this particular portion of the formula sheet. All right, that will conclude this lecture video. Thank you for watching.